They say the rain in Spain falls mainly on the plain. Well, that's not correct because it has been pouring rain all day here in Italy. Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon, wherever you are watching us live all around the world. Good evening for some, in fact. We are joining you from the center of the karting universe. This is South Garda Karting Lonato. This is round one of the WSK Euro Series on a very wet track here at South Garda Karting. The OK final in just a moment. It will be raced over 17 laps on a very wet circuit. We have raced, we have qualified, we have practiced on a dry circuit. Beautiful conditions throughout the week, but the rain, which has threatened for the past 7 days, finally arrived early this morning, and that has turned everything upside down. Arvid Lindblad was the fastest qualifier in the dry, and he also did win the pre-final in the wet. The Londoner will lead from pole position in a few moments' time when we do race, but before we do get to the first of our four finals, let's take a look at some of the highlights of OK round one of the WSK Euro Series thus far this week here at Lonato. For the Londoner, Arvid Lindblad set the track alight with a time of 45.772 to take pole position 48 hours ago on Friday. Glorious conditions, the flowers were blooming, the birds were chirping here in the springtime in the north of Italy. On track, the action was white hot. Christian Bertucca 223 and Luigi Coluccio 219 in the Cosmic, flying the flag for the home nation. Coluccio winning his pre-final earlier this morning. Brando Badouet 205 to start on the fourth row of the grid. In what has been an action-packed week of racing, largely on a dry circuit, which is not what we have here at the moment here at South Garda Karting. Arvid Lindblad quick in the dry, quick in the wet. The rain has actually stopped, but there is no chance of racing on LeConte or dry tyres. It is full wet setup on what is a very wet and, in fact, probably more treacherous. It's actually a greasy circuit. Some drivers saying they would prefer a full wet circuit or full dry rather than the greasy conditions that we do have here for the first of our four finals in just a moment. Lindblad will start on pole position. Last year's WSK Supermasters Series champion, Arvid Lindblad, alongside Luigi Coluccio, who is back in form. 219, the Cosmic Kart driver, to start on the outside of the front row of the grid. The battle, the fight, the war between Kart Republic and Tony Kart, it never ends. It rages on here this afternoon. Lindblad for the independent Kart Republic of Dean Church, and Luigi Coluccio for the OTK Cosmic Racing Department. They share the front row of the grid, and it's virtually repeated on the second and third rows as well. Ugo for Kart Republic out of 3. Joseph for Tony Kart out of 4. Rafa Kamada 202, who dominated the first two races of the 2021 WSK calendar, starts on the third row of the grid alongside the super sweet Norton Andreasen in the Vortex-powered Tony Kart for Ward Racing. 34 karts on the grid for the first of our four finals this afternoon. From the original 43 entries in this category, 243 in total. The karts come straight out onto the circuit. Led by Luigi Coluccio. He will start out of grid 2 as Arvid rightly assumes he's a place in grid 1. As we take a look at the grid for you, it is the Londoner Lindblad from pole alongside Luigi Coluccio, Ugo, and JT from MK, Rafa Kamada, Norton Andreasen, Duke Tappinen, the Tony Kart, and then Brando Badouet. Christian Bertucca for the Birla team is alongside Seb Graf, Sebastian Gravelin, superb in the second Cosmic. Sixth row of the grid, Ivan Dominguez for the DPK Racing Team, Timak Kuhacic, Pirtilati, Alfio Spina, Bruno Del Pino, Igor Chepil, Nicola Lacorte. We're watching the former World Cup winner, Yannick de Brabander, the 30-year-old Belgian, Gerard G, and Matthias Morgato out of 20. Hugo Lindstrom on debut in WSK, Niels Troger in the Maranello, Artur Rojan, Nicolas Zoloff Arnold Shabda, the Kazakhstani from Nur Sultan, Andriolo, Rintaro Sato, Frederick Lund, Alexander Bardash. Then we go to Olaf Tidakowski. The two Poles are together. Jesse Carrasquedo, Flavio Sproli, Ricardo Gracia, and Yuri Bečička. The rain, if you can believe it, has actually stopped falling, but the track is absolutely saturated. Standing water all over the circuit. Rooster tails of spray. Lindblad and Coluccio. This will be fantastic. It will come down to the last corner, or potentially one driver may well walk away with it. Welcome to the center of the karting universe. Welcome to South Garda Karting. Welcome to round one of the WSK Euro Series 2021. For the first time, we race. Lindblad leads them up to the first corner. Ugo around the outside. The American runs wide but holds his nerve. What a move by Ugo. Takes position one from Lindblad. Coluccio and Rafa Kamara. Joseph, there's the Tony car just behind in 2-1-0. Watch Joseph, who is notoriously brilliant off the starts. Fabulous start from Ugo Ugochukwu. Cuts back on the inside from his teammate Arvid Lindblad. That is Luigi Coluccio. They race down the hill for the first of 17 times this afternoon. Through the spray, there's Kamara, there's Turney, Norton Andreasen. Back in position 7 is the Swede from Tuukka Tappinen, Brando Badoea and Sebastian Gravland. Lindblad now takes the lead. Kamara fights with Coluccio. Lindblad back in P1. There is the American Ugo into second place. Brilliant start. That was just superb from Ugo Ugochukwu. As they race across the line for the first time, the American is behind the Englishman in second place. Now Arvid tries the high line. Saw what Ugo did off the start. Here's Brando Badoer searching for grip. The Italian down in 11th place. Kamara on the outside. We've already lost a couple of drivers, Arturo Jean and Rintaro Sato. The son of the two-time Indianapolis 500 winner, Takuma Sato's boy, Rintaro, joins Arturo Jean as one of the two retirements here this morning. Or this afternoon, I should say. It feels like the morning with the weather, the rain, which has not stopped falling since the early hours of this morning. Kart Republic's 1-2, Coluccio in P3. Igor Shepil is also out, as is Roman Andriolo. Ugo back in the top spot. Arvid in second. Coluccio wants this victory badly. Runs into the back of the KR just in front of him. Lindblad in second. Ugo leads. Look at the kart starting to be littered around the circuit. We're already down to 28 runners from the original 34 starters. Bertuca around the outside fighting with Norton Andreasen. There's Brando still searching for grip. Going wheel to wheel with Timur Kuharczyk. Ugo in the lead. So now the race settles down on the third of 17 laps. There's Coluccio, the inside rear. That's encouraging for the Cosmic team. You saw the inside rear just jacking off the ground under grip. It's flexing nicely, the rear of the Cosmic kart in position 3. The Kart Republics 1 and 2. Luigi will get the run out of the chicane into the hairpin at the far part of the circuit on this lap 3 of 17. Kamara in P4 and then Joseph in P5. Coluccio, he's got the grip. Just needs to find a line, find the momentum, and he'll make the move on the Kart Republics in front of him. There's Joseph. There is Rafa Kamara for the Oak Racing Team P4. Fabulous start from Christian Pennyball Bertuca. Goes by Norton Andreasen. Seb Grab up into 8th place in the second Cosmic. Can Gravland drag himself into the battle for the lead as well? Sebastian Gravland, Timur Kuharczyk and Brando Badoer as Joseph goes down the inside and takes 4th place away from Rafa Kamara. Lindblad, Ugo, they go 1-2. There's Coluccio watching them. In 3rd place, needs to make a move soon. Coluccio's got the grip. The inside rear, particularly into these hairpins, watch it. If he can get the inside rear off the ground, get the kart to flex, to turn in, the rear end to jack, but he might have some front understeer by the looks of that in the early stages of this race. Oh, indeed he does. He goes very deep. Coluccio will be lucky to hang on to third place. Here's Joseph and Rafa P4 and 5. Let's see what Joseph Turney can do. This super highly rated English driver, spectacular to watch, and he loves these conditions. We love watching him in these conditions as well. Kamara behind the English driver, back to Bertuca. There's Norton Andreasen, Brando Baroe, Time Kuhacic, Duka Tapanen, Seb Graf, Morgato, Nikola Zola. Fabulous start from the Bulgarian Lion. The race settles down on this, the 5th of 17 laps here on a very wet circuit. So Lindblad is the race leader. Ugo starting to lose a little bit of time now. There's Coluccio in P3, Joseph in the Tony kart behind the Cosmic. The karts around the circuit, we've lost Jeppel, we've lost Rojon. Andriolo, the French driver in the Sodi kart, is out. As is the pole, Olaf Tidakowski. Lindblad, fastest lap of the race. Look at the inside rear, off the ground. He's got grit to burn. Lindblad, the Kart Republic team have saved something. Here's Brando Badue, still with that unique high line. Brando up into P8, behind Norton, ahead of Time Kuhacic. Luigi in P3. Winner of the WSK Open Cup here back in 2018. That was for the red and white team, Birol Art. Third place in the Cosmic. As you watch the Red Bull Junior, Arvid Lindblad from London in England. Ugo from New York, USA. Kart Republic 1-2. Luigi and then Joseph. Rafa Kamada, traditionally, he starts with lower tyre pressures. Does Rafa? You saw him not so good off the starts in the earlier rounds of the WSK Supermaster Series and the Champions Cup, which he won, sat back in 6th and 7th. And towards the end of those races, he just picked them off one by one. It's a different ball game, though, here in the wet conditions, here in the rain. He's in P5 behind Joseph Turney. That is Christian Bertuca out wide. Going ahead on Brando Badue, Norton Andreasen, Tuukka Tapanen. Here's Pirtilati going through ahead of a Lacorte. Bruno Del Pino, the CRG, running out wide as well. Gerard G behind Yannick de Brabanda. And ahead of Hugo Lindström, Jesse Carrasquedo, Bechichka, Arno Shada and Flavio Sproli, the final runner, as we also lose Ricardo Gracia. Remember, the Brazilian retired from the pre-final, was classified 17th though. Started the final, but only goes 3 laps into this. The final of round 1 of the WSK Euro Series here at South Garda Karting. It's looking good for Lindblad. He is pulling away from not only Coluccio, but his teammate as well. The field spreading out. Joseph falls off. Joseph falls off in the background. Rafa Kamada goes through to P4. Joseph falls down the order. He's effectively out of the race. We'll see if he can rejoin. He was attacking for third. Rafa Kamada makes it a Kart Republic 1, 2 and 4. Luigi Coluccio flying the flag for the OTK team. The Cosmic up onto 3 wheels. He's still got grip in the rear, but it looks as though it's understeering ever so slightly. Will he come good later in the race? Treacherous conditions. Down through the chicane. Goes that little bit wide, does Lindblad, but he's still got the grip. Ugo in 2nd place. Coluccio. Now the Cosmic starting to work. We have not even passed half race distance yet. Coluccio wants the victory, as does Arvid, last year's WSK Supermaster Series champion. The gap was 1 second. It's out to 1.2 between Arvid and Ugo. Luigi in 3rd place. There's Norton going through. Head of Tappinen, Kuhacic, Zoloff, Morgato, Sebastian Gravelin, Spinner, Ivan Dominguez, Troga, Lacorte, Piertilati, Alexander Bardash. 2-4-1, that was the CRG going through of the Polish Italian. Having a good run. He's into 18th place from the back of the grid. Lindblad looks ominous. Down through the chicane, the colours of the world's most famous energy drink painted onto the Londoner's helmet. The Red Bull Junior P1, and he's pulling away. Fastest qualifier on Friday on a dry circuit, a time of 45.772. The gap, 1.5 seconds back to Ugo, who's fighting with Luigi. Rafa Kamada, he comes, the South American, a fastest purple sector. Comes across the line, Rafa Kamada, a 106.4. He's the fastest driver on the circuit. Here comes the boy from Brazil, Rafa Kamada, in P4. In typical fashion, doesn't start so well. There he is in P4 for the Oak Racing team. Bertuga, Baduea, Norton, back to Tappinen. Nikola Zoloff from grid 24. Remember, he had that moment, he spun in the pre-final. He's driven brilliantly. He's up into 9th place, can you believe, for the DPK Racing team. Head of Kuhacic, Morgato and Sebastian Gravelin back to 12. Half race distance of this 20-kilometre final in extremely wet conditions here at South Garda karting. Lindblad, quite smooth in the wet, different styles. This is where we really get to see the different styles of each driver, the different racing lines as well. Coluccio across the line, we'll check the gap. 1.2 seconds, 1.3 seconds. Ugachuku, he's got the fastest lap of the race now. Almost throws it away, does the American, down into turn 2. Bertuga runs wide, as does Baduea. Norton a tighter line in P7 for the Ward Racing Tony Kart. .3 seconds separating the two kart republics. The battle between KR and OTK has not yet materialised. We pass half race distance. Lindblad over the ripple strip. Far from a dry line, but it is cleaning up, oh, ever so slightly, but incredibly greasy. Four-wheel drift down the hill into the chicane. There's Tappinen. There is Nikola Zoloff. Fabulous drive from near on the back of the grid. Where would he have been had he have not spun in the early stages of the pre-final? Was lucky to make it through to the final. Started way back. I have to look at the sheet, a long way back on the 12th row, alongside Arthur Rojon, who has already retired. Nikola Zoloff, he's up into 9th place. So Kamada goes through. There's Bertuga, Brando Baduea, Norton. He's ahead of Tappinen, Kuhacic in the Kubica kart. That is Nikola Zoloff coming through now, the Bulgarian. Head of Sebastian Gravelin, Alfio Spina. Troga, Lacorte, Dominguez, Piertilati, Alexander Bardash in the CRG. Yannick de Brabanda. You can see the CRG also flexing big time. The Polish Italian, Alexander Bardash. Good drive from him. He's in 18th place from the back of the grid, ahead of the former World Cup champion, Yannick de Brabanda. The 30-year-old Belgian winning that race, of course, at Suzuka in Japan for the EGP team. Well over a decade ago. Back in OK for the Praga team, 245. Yannick in 19th place, not having the best run this afternoon though. Lindblad, the gap is out to 2 seconds. Time is running out for Ugo and Luigi. 2 seconds exactly. Lindblad smooth on the steering wheel is the Red Bull Junior. Tighter line for Ugo. He has to try something, as does Coluccio. Spray coming off the LeConte wet tyres. There's Kamara in the background. Hasn't been able to reel them in like he did in the dry. Coluccio in the Cosmic Kart, desperately trying to hunt down the two KRs in front. For the moment, the team of Dean Church run 1, 2 and 4, split by the Cosmic of Luigi Coluccio. There is Kamara back to Bertuga, Brando Baduea. Norton, Andreasen, Tuka Tappen and Kuharczyk in the Kubica kart. Lindblad has it under control though. 2 seconds back to his American teammate. As the clock ticks over, 14 minutes raced. And they start the 14th lap of the race. Lindblad will check the gap. Was 2 seconds. It's out to 2.2. The inside rear skips off the ground. Spectacular. Down at this world-famous turn 1 here at Lonato. You can see Arvid has got the confidence. He throws it down into turn 3. As Coluccio looks for grip out wide. Camara, Bertucca, Brando. The 2 Italians go side by side. As Christian Bertucca reaches up the needle on the carburetor, feeding that 125cc TM engine. Possibly just richening up the low jet ever so slightly to get plenty of fuel flowing in. They are still lapping in 66 seconds with 3 laps remaining at the end of this one. 2.2 seconds from Arvid Lindblad. On your screen, back to Ugo and Luigi Coluccio. The retirements include Gracia, Chetel, Rojon, Andriolo, Rintaro Sato, Olaf Tidakowski, and also, of course, Joseph Turney retiring early on. That was a disappointment. We were looking forward to watching Joseph in action, but retired on the 4th lap of this race. And we have also lost, unfortunately, the Portuguese driver, Ivan Dominguez. Bertucca, by the way, continue their fight. There's Norton. And Tuka Tappinen on the podium at the last round of the WSK Supermaster Series was Tuka. The Robert Kubica kart off the ball. Timmy Kuharczyk going through in 9th place. And as we say, from grid 24, Nikola Zolov from Sofia in Bulgaria, the Eastern European driver in position 10. They won't catch Arvid unless he makes a terrible mistake, which is unlikely given his pedigree. A world-class driver is the Red Bull Junior, the fastest qualifier, dominating the heats, winning his pre-final, and he's got 2 laps to victory here this afternoon. Coluccio from Camara, the Brazilian won't make the podium. The inside rear off the deck of Arvid Lindblad. 1.9 seconds. Oh, look at him throw it down into turn 3. Just drifts it WRC style. Still the Kart Republic, still Luigi driving as hard as he possibly can. Bertucca, Baduea, Norton and Tuka Tappinen. There is Kuharczyk trying to chase down the Finn. Behind them, Zoloff, Morgato, Sebastian Gravlin, Alfio Spinner. Good drive from Nils Troger, the German, in the Maranello kart, and Nicola Lacorte. Also, the driver who lives in the shadow of the Leaning Tower of Pisa in 15th place for the Chetila racing team. Kart Republic running 1 and 2. Arvid Lindblad will get the last lap board this time round. The battle has not eventuated. Just needs 1.2 kilometres. Driven smoothly, he looks behind him. It's a long way back, 1.7 seconds. Back to Ugo, throws it down into turn 1. Ugo is catching him ever so slightly, but almost 2 seconds further back. Arvid can cruise to the checkered flag, so to speak. There's Coluccio, will make the podium. He looks behind him, back to Camara. Bertucca, great drive from him. Baduea, Norton looks over his right shoulder, back to Tuka Tappinen. For the moment, the 2nd generation racer, the king of the 1-lap qualifier, Brando Baduea, will finish in 7th, ahead of Tuka and Timac. 3 corners remaining. Arvid Lindblad deserves this big time. He took pole position in qualifying 48 hours ago on a dry track with a 45.772. They are lapping 20 seconds slower than that here in the rain in atrocious conditions. The driver from the Queen's England for the Independent Republic of Dino Chiesa takes the victory in round 1 of the WSK Euro Series. Lindblad wins from Ugo Ugochukwu, and across the line in position 3, Luigi Coluccio. Kamada misses the podium by a single position. Comes home fourth from Bertuka, Baduea, Norton Andreasen, Tuka Tapanen, Timek, and Zola from near on the back of the grid in position 10. Absolutely did he deserve that. Arvid Lindblad has dominated from the outset of practice on Wednesday, albeit that was on a dry circuit. Wet, dry, does not matter. The Londoner, Arvid Lindblad, dominates to win round one of the WSK Euro Series here at South Garda Karting. As Flavio Sproli takes the checkered flag backwards across the line. Arvid Lindblad with the victory. It's a KR1-2 Ugo. Good result for the American driver. The newly signed, we should point out, newly signed McLaren Jr. in second place, and Luigi Coluccio gave absolutely everything. The Italian back in form takes the final step of the podium here this afternoon. The rain has stopped, but it is still cold, it is still wet, it is still grey and overcast here in the north of Italy. Round one of the WSK Euro Series. Arvid Lindblad takes the victory from Ugo Ugochukwu, and Luigi Coluccio on the podium in third place. Stay with us on WSK.it. The podium presentation in just a moment. Arvid Lindblad to stand on the top step. Ugo comes home second, and Coluccio P3 for the Cosmic Racing Department. You are watching us live on WSK.it. The podium for OK, round one of the WSK Euro Series from Lonato in just a moment. They cross the line, 1, 2, 3. Two Kart Republics and a Cosmic in third place, but that's not how they'll stand on the podium. Penalties were applied, and it's now a Kart Republic, 1, 2, 3. No change to the top of the order. It is still Arvid and Ugo. But the driver in third place crossed in fifth place. He will finish in third place. We're about to get underway with the podium for the OK final, round one of the WSK Euro Series. From Italy, in third place, Brando Baduea. From the United States of America, for Kart Republic, second, Ugo Ugochukwu. And a brilliant drive all weekend from the outset of qualifying. He wins round one of the WSK Euro Series from the Queen's England for Team Kart Republic, Arvid Lindblad. The national anthem of Great Britain.
the podium for the OK final, round 1 of the WSK Euro Series. Third place, Brando Badaway. Second, Ugo Ugochukwu. And Arvid Lindblad takes the victory for the Queen's England.